Hey everybody, it's Doug here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another playthrough of Cthulhu Death May Die. We're going to be playing the second scenario, which is Season 1, Episode 2, The Tomes of Madness. Now, you know, in the last one we had the young child and the ever-living Rasputin take on one of the old ones in a different part of the world, so we're going to switch it up. We're going to have some different characters and a different old one to deal with. So let's get set up. Just like a couple setup things I want to show you. Again, I'm not going to read the character backstories. You can read those on your own, but each of the characters we play do have a really interesting backstory with them. However, we are going to cover what old one we're going to be dealing with and what the scenario is going to look like, also what monsters we're going to have to face. So let's take a look at that. So we're going to be facing Yog Sothoth. Yep, that's right. Look at this big, ugly dude. That is him right there. He's nasty. We're going to have to deal with him this time instead of one of the other ones we dealt with, which was the Black Goat. We also took on Hoster, which we failed at before. But this is going to be Yog Sothoth. And it says, now he has this interesting mechanic where he creates gates. It says, when Yog Sothoth counts, Yog gates count as gates except for normal summoning. They can be attacked and have 3 health. When destroyed, deal 2 wounds to one enemy in your space. When an enemy is summoned at a normal gate, summon another enemy of the same type at each same colored Yog gate. So this has the potential to have lots of creatures on the board. This is when Yog Sothoth advances, place a random Yog gate token in your space. Move Wilbur Wheatley 2 spaces. We'll talk about him in a minute. Towards you. If he is not on the board, summon him and start at the starting space. So where the characters come in, basically. So obviously there's more to it than that. We'll see those as we go, and you can see his miniature there. Now let's take a look at the scenario, or let's look at the monsters first, his monster specifically. And here is Wilbur Wheatley. Now, if you know any of the Cthulhu stories, the Wheatleys are pretty awful. But you see the cultists are much the same. They're just normal. Now the cultists seek the key and the gate. Cultists in this have a different action, or there's a special action related to the cultists. We'll cover that in a second, but it's related to the scenario. Okay, and it says, when destroyed, this is Wilbur Wheatley. He's got 3 health. He does quite a bit of damage, but it says when destroyed, place a random Yog gate in his space. We have the Yog gates set aside for that. They're different colored gates that look slightly different than the other thing that we'll be dealing with. But also, now let's take a look at our scenario. Okay, this is the scenario right here. It says Tomes of Madness. We'll put him back on the track so he's ready to go. And then we'll take a look at the scenario monsters as well. Okay, it says, the catacombs under the Wallace estate are said to be cursed. Old Horace Wallace had a bad reputation of trafficking with vile forces, collecting forbidden tomes, and being a sorcerer. Probably why cultists are doing their thing down there. Cultists never talk. So maybe we'll just have to kill them and search their bodies for answers. Somehow that's quicker. So what do we have to do? We have to disrupt the ritual. We have to claim 2 of the 4 tomes. When the Elder One advances, summon a cultist to the nearest space with an unclaimed tome. That's not good, so that's an extra thing that happens when Yog Sothoth advances. And then special rules. If an investigator dies, their forbidden knowledge tokens are shuffled back into the pile. We got the stack of those tokens ready to go. Before the ritual is disrupted, when you kill a cultist, knock its figure over instead of removing it. It now represents a cultist body, not an enemy. Once the ritual is disrupted, remove all the bodies and use normal rules when killing cultists. Okay, now why is that important? Because of this. Loot cultist bodies. While you are in a space with a cultist, make a roll. If you get 2+ successes, remove the body, draw a forbidden knowledge token from the pile, and put it face up on your investigator board. These tokens may not be traded. Claim tome. Discard 2 forbidden knowledge tokens whose symbol match the tome in your space to claim that tome. Tomes may not be traded. Well, there's 4 tomes on the board. You can see where they're placed here. I guess we just... It says we're going to place them face up. I got them face down. We're going to reveal what they are when we get started. So right now they're face down. But that is the map for the thing. So it's quite a big map. And we have a couple of different monsters to deal with. We'll take a look at those as well. We have these 2 fellows. Fine fellows right here. We have ghouls. They have 2 health. Their attack is not terrible. If attacked but not destroyed, summon another ghoul in this space. Well, we've dealt with that kind of scenario before. So when you fight a ghoul, you got to kill it. Luckily, they only have 2 health. And then the Chthonians, it says, when attacking, it deals the full wounds to each investigator in the space and adjacent spaces. So, and it's got 8 health, so we definitely don't want too many of the Chthonians out and about, do we? Basically, you can see on the map, here they are, right here. The Chthonians, we got to get a Chthonian figure out, and then you got the ghouls. So we'll deal with that, and that is the setup of our scenario. There is a nasty Chthonian already on the board. Now, you know, one of the cool things about this game is that we have, because we're playing the second season, we have this Tomes of Madness Season 1, Episode 2 deck of discovery cards that we have. That makes it really interesting, because that means every game is radically different. Plus, we also have a Mythos deck that not only includes the cards from Yog Sothoth, but the campaign or adventure itself. I'll just give another quick shuffle, even though I did shuffle the heck out of them. And we'll take a look at the board. Now, we can see most of the board from here, so we're going to take a look at the tomes. I put them out at random. So there's this tome here with that symbol. Now, we got to remember, we got to collect the symbols. Up over there's a tome we've just put down. We got one up here, so you can see they're spread way out. And then we have one way over here. And that's going to get us started. Now, we only got one more thing to do left, and that's related to our characters. First character we're going to have in this adventure is going to be Elizabeth. Again, I'm not going to read their backstory, but I'll say, heads, I win again. Best 6 out of 11, love. Well, she's lucky, and that's her special. She's got marksman and stealth. Those are standard ones, but she has lucky. She automatically starts with 1 free reroll of anything. That's pretty clever. But what we didn't reveal, I just dealt them out, and I don't know what they are. It's cool. Is her patient file that tells her how she's insane. Let's see what she's got. Obsessive disorder. Well, we've seen this one before. Move your stress to match your health values, then discard discovery cards as needed until you have the same number on both sides. So she's got obsessive compulsive disorder, basically. And then for the other character we're going to have, Ahmed. Now, he's a healer. Ahmed has, at the end of your turn, you may heal 1 stress or 1 wound on an active investigator in your space. It may also be yourself. So we can build that healing ability up. It's pretty cool. Now, what is his problem? He's a pyromaniac. So put a fire token in your space. Man, I left him in the box. Didn't know if I needed him. Then deal wounds equal to the number of fire tokens in your space to the monster. So, okay, he's got pyromania, but he also likes to heal people. That's a good thing. He's a good-natured fella. All right, well, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. We do have fire tokens available to us, so we'll just get them out when we need them. And we're going to get started, so let's do that. Take at least our first turn in this video and see where it leads us. Now remember, we have a totally different mission. The first one was to destroy the labs. This one we're trying to get the tokens. We have to kill cultists and get tokens to get the tomes. I do think that we want to kind of stay a little bit away from the Chthonians. I think we're going to head in the other direction, at least temporarily. And I believe we're going to start the game with Elizabeth. Elizabeth is a marksman. She can attack 1 space away, and that's exactly what she's going to do. Now, she doesn't have any special things or items or abilities, so the first attack she's going to do is going to be just a ranged attack with her pistol into the space right here with the 2 cultists. See if we can pop those 2 cultists. Now, remember, the turn order is we take our actions, then we draw our Mythos card, then we investigate or fight, and then we resolve end of round events. We'll see how this goes. And as you recall, whenever you're playing this game, whenever it says make a roll, it's talking about these 3 dice. This is a roll, always. So let's do that, and oh, that's not a great start. That's actually a terrible start. So her first action, she is going to burn her stress. Now you remember how that works. So she's got 5 stress, and she's going to re-roll this one. See if we can get a hit. Nope, same thing. Man, I got to tell you, we played this the other night with my family. But take another stress, by the way, to re-roll this again. And we just kept rolling the same things over and over and over again. Well, that's a little better. We got 1 hit. And 1 insanity. I think we're going to burn another stress to see if we can kill a cultist. We can't. Okay, so first shot's leaving her a little stressed out. We got 1 cultist damage. She's going to take her second action, shoot again, and hopefully we have slightly better luck. But I got to raise her insanity real quick. Hold on. Okay, it's just up 1. It's not really going to hurt anything. Well, she's got 1 more hit on him. That'll kill him. I think we're going to leave it at that. She is going to take another sanity hit, though. She's already taken 2 hits to her sanity. That's bad. She did manage to kill this cultist. Now remember, in this scenario, we don't do that. We just knock him over. Yeah, that's the way that goes. Okay, so that was, she's got 1 more action, and I think she's going to spend her action to heal her stress. while she still can and is in a safe space. So that puts her back to normal, and she did manage to kill a whopping 1 cultist. Not very good. Not the greatest start, but now we have to draw her Mythos card. That's the next step. Before we do that, I need to remember her special ability of a free reroll, which I forgot in the last one too. So she'll take that extra sanity, why not, and do a point of damage to the cultist. I got to remember her special abilities. Got to get back into this guy. Is there? So we got one more damage on that cultist. Then she did the same thing. She rested up and healed. Now we got to draw our Mythos card. And she is already about to trigger her first level of insanity in the first round of the game. That is bad. Let's see what she gets. Yog Sothoth's presence. Yog's presence. Okay. If there are 3 or more Yog gates on the board, there are none. At the end of the turn, Yog Sothoth advances on the track. So we'll just leave that out. That is actually the most benign card we could have gotten as a first draw, I think, or one of them anyway. So that's good. Now we're going to move on to her investigation phase. Well, she has no enemies, so she gets to investigate. So I'll give this one more shuffle just since this is the start. And we'll draw a new card. Let's see what she gets here. The Unstable Grenade. The pin is half out and needs to be replaced carefully. Carefully replaced. You may take 2 stress to claim the grenade. If you do not discard it, and take 2 wounds. We're going to do that. She can do that, so she's up to 3 stress again. But she gets this. You may discard this card to deal 3 wounds to all figures, either in your space or an adjacent space. We'll take that. That is a really powerful item. She might lose it though very soon. Maybe Ahmed is going to trade her for it. That might be not a bad first action, because what we don't want is for her to lose that when she ticks over in her insanity. So let's move on to Ahmed's turn. I know it seems wasteful, but I think we're going to do it. He's going to take the grenade from her so that we don't lose that really powerful item. So he traded with her. That was his first action. His second action is going to be to move, and he will move into here, where his third action will be to attack that cultist. Now hopefully he can kill it. That'd be awfully nice. Oh, look at that! A great roll for Ahmed to start with. He does, in fact, kill a cultist, so we're tipping over the figure there. Now, to loot the cultist's body, that is an action, so we're not actually going to get to do that. And that's all 3 of his actions, unfortunately. It's time to draw his Mythos card. Uh-oh, Terror. Everyone with a terrified condition, nobody exists like that, must choose one of these options. Take 2 stress, discard a companion or item card, and lose 1 sanity per terrified condition that you have. Well, here's the good news. We don't have any terrified conditions. So that just means we have 1 card that's going to move Yog Sothoth on the track, and that's really all that's happened. And that's the end of the round. So that card that we drew before that said at the end of the round, if this condition occurs, is now no longer in existence. And then we don't have any end of the round effects or any end of turn effects that I recall. I'm looking at all the different cards. We don't. It's been a pretty benign start, except for Elizabeth being almost at her first break in insanity. But let's take her action now. She's going to go. Before we do, I saw I had those cultists in Ahmed's space, and I wasn't thinking. He's actually in a safe space. They're dead. So he gets to draw a discovery card. What does he get? The medical kit. For healing cuts and wounds, you may claim the medical kit. Well, heck yeah, let's do that. So we got a medical kit and a grenade. It's good that Ahmed gets that. He's our healer. And we'll just put the cards aside, and now we're going to take Elizabeth's turn again. Okay, for her first action, she will move here. For her second action, I'm thinking about shooting the ghoul, because, you know, those are pretty nasty. But we could search the body, too. That would be very helpful. So for her second action, she's going to search the body of the cultist there. So we're going to remove the cultist body, and we're going to draw one of these tokens at random. We'll draw this one, so she gets one of these. Great, that's the one with the Chthonian. So we'll put that on her character sheet. She needs 2 of these to, I believe, 2 of these to activate. Claim a tome? Yeah, we need 2 of those tokens that match the tome to be able to claim it. We need all the things to be able to claim it. We need to claim all the tomes to be able to disrupt the summoning of Yog Sothoth. So far we got 1 token on the tome. I could investigate the other cultist, or I could shoot the cultist in the north. I think we're going to take a shot at the cultist. Seems like a good way to go. She's not that stressed. She's got 3 stress against her. She could heal up to normal on the stress instead. But we're always pressed for time in this game, because you never know how the Mythos cards are going to fall. I think getting rid, or trying to get rid of a cultist is a good idea. So she's going to take a shot. Remember, she's got a free reroll, and she does need it. She's going to reroll this one. So I really don't want to trigger her. Well, this would be the best time to trigger her ability, wouldn't it? Let me see. We're going to match her stress to her health, right? Match her stress to her health. Yeah, we're going to leave that alone, actually. So we did 3 hits, and we killed the cultist. We shot the cultist dead. It is up in this north hallway. And we're going to tilt him over until we go look at his body. Elizabeth has been triggered, so she goes up to her first breakpoint. I don't know if it's too early for that or not. Probably is, but it says move your stress to match your health value because we triggered her obsessive disorder. That's great. Her health value is perfect, so she is now at perfect again. So it's actually helped her. It says then discard discovery cards as needed. We don't have to worry about that. She doesn't have any. That was it, except for she also gets to beef up one of her abilities. So let's take a look at her second level of luck. You have 1 additional reroll per turn. That's 2 rerolls a turn. Or do we want to gain 2? You know, with the ghouls the way they are, I think we're going to take our first level in marksmanship. She also has stealth, so she can walk through things without them chasing her, which is good, at least one thing. But we're going to take marksmanship because then if she's shooting into a space adjacent to her, she gets 2 extra dice. That's really valuable. And they're green dice, which they're better. So for her first action, she moved. Second action, she shot the cultist. I think for her third action, she will search this one here and see what she gets. Let's again draw those tokens around. We'll mix them up and draw that one. Wow, she got the exact. Okay, so now we have the 2 tokens, but this is a really bad scenario because Tome was down with the Chthonian, and we're not really quite in a good place to face him. Remember, he's got 8 dice, and he does a lot of damage if you're even close to him. That's why I wanted to move away. Okay, that marks the last of her turn, so we're going to get her Mythos card out. Okay, let's see what we get here. We're going to get more to the ritual. Move each cultist 2 spaces towards you. That's not great. And then we're going to summon a cultist in the orange zone. That's fine. We can do that. So let's go do that. Poor Elizabeth is going to have to fight this turn because he's going to go 1, 2. He's going to go 1 there. That guy's dead. And then we're going to summon a cultist. And that cultist is going right here with the orange ritual zone. And now we have 2 of the 3 before we move Yog Sothoth symbols out. Remember, once we move this, Yog Sothoth is going to move on the ritual track. Once we get 3 of these symbols, we have 2 currently exposed right now. And then when we do, we'll have to reshuffle that Mythos deck. But that's all that happens, except now we go to the Investigator fight phase. While Elizabeth can't get an item, she has to fight because she's being attacked by 2 cultists. Now the cultists just rolled 2 green dice, which means that they don't do any insanity damage, but they can hurt her. They did do 1 point of damage. She'll have to take it, so she's taken her first wound of the game. And then the other one is going to hit as well, and also does a wound. So she's taken 2 wounds at this juncture in the game. That's pretty early on. We'll see how this goes for us. But that is what happens when they moved in and attacked her. You know, one of the other things that happens in this game is you tend to get stalled out in places where monsters gather on you. So that's why one of the reasons I want to kill a bunch of them. But it's okay. We are all right. Ahmed is there. He's going to have to attack. He does have stealth. He can move without facing one of those guys, but I don't want to leave Elizabeth alone in that space. She is going to move and shoot next turn and probably do a bunch of damage. So it might be worth him moving out and only taking one of the cultists with him to fight. That could be interesting. And I think that's what we're going to do. So for his first action, well, hold on. His first action is at the end of your turn, you may heal 1 stress or wound on an investigator in your space. We're not going anywhere. We're going to stay right there, and we're going to attack one of these 2 cultists. Hopefully, now I got to make sure I keep track of their abilities because, well, they were both in perfect shape at the end of the round, so it didn't really matter much. But anyway, wow, he did manage to kill it. That is good. He killed a cultist on his first action. Good for him. And that means that, but he did take a sanity hit. I think I'm just going to take it. That's only 1. That's the first one he's taken in the game, so he's up 1 point on the insanity. And then he's going to attack for a second action. He'll attack the other cultist. Yes, another good one, but I think we're going to take a stress this time and see if we can do something better with that. That's the same. He'll take another stress. Nor is the second action. He still has a third action to go. Okay, as you can tell, we're having that problem where you just keep re-rolling that. And there. Okay, finally he doesn't take a sanity damage, but he does kill the other cultist. Oh, I'm not even showing you the dice roll, sorry. Okay, sorry, this one kept coming up with sanity. Finally rolled that. I apologize for that. Anyway, not a crisis. We killed the second cultist. He has one more action left to go. And remember, his ability doesn't trigger. So I think he'll search one of the bodies. Okay, he'll just search one of these guys. Take them off the board. Oh, let's take that one. Okay, there, we took that one. That one is way down here at that end. The tome is over there. So he has one token for that tome now. That is good. We're getting tokens quickly, at least. And that is his third and final action, so we have to draw his Mythos card. I'm concerned we're going to have some bad luck right here. Let's see. What do we get? Yeah, we're going to move the bad guy. Okay, the key in the gate. Choose one. Place a random Yog Gate token in your space or lose 2 sanity. I think we'll lose 2 sanity because I don't want to place 2 of these gates out this turn. So, Ahmed just went up to there. And then, however, we're going to trigger him. Trigger this. That's why I know we're going to get another sanity. But we also are going to place a cultist in the blue square. So I'm just going to put those like that for the moment because now we're going to advance Yog Sothoth. What happens there? Okay, well, he moves up one on the track, and then it says, when Yog Sothoth advances, place a random gate. Okay, I'm not going to look at these. I'm just going to, they're in here in this little bowl. I'm not looking. I'm just shuffling around to get this one. There we go. Orange gate. Gate token in your space, and move Wilbur Wheatley 2 spaces towards you. If he's not on the board, summon him. So this orange token is now on this space, and then we take the dreaded Wilbur. This is him right here, and he appears, comes into the room. He's like coming after us. Wilbur Wheatley's turned into his monster form, and he's coming to get us. He's pretty tough too. Well, he's only got 3, but he does have a nasty special ability. It says, when destroyed, place a random Yog Gate token in space. So he, maybe we don't want to destroy him right away. I don't know. Anyway, we have that. That's what happened when we summoned him, and then that's it. So that's not too terribly bad. And then all of these get shuffled again, of course, which sucks because now they're all back in there to be able to go again. But that was the end of Ahmed's investigation or draw Mythos card phase. So he is now going to investigate. He's doing all the investigating, unfortunately, because he's going to get a discovery card again. Okay, so for his discovery card, he gets the dead policeman, still warm, shot once. You may claim you may spend 2 stress to claim the shotgun. If you don't, claim a terrified condition. Well, here's the bummer. He has 4 stress. He cannot. We're going to lose this shotgun. So he's going to have to do this. When you claim this card, shuffle 2 forbidden knowledge tokens you're carrying back into the pile. We only have 1. That kind of sucks. But here we go. We're building up cards, not always good ones, and then he's going to lose his token here. We're going to shuffle him back in. At the end of the turn, he gets to use his healing prayer. He's going to do that on Elizabeth to heal her wound. 1 wound, bring her down on a wound level. So he uses healing prayer and heals her up. We're in better shape. That's the end of his turn. Now it's the beginning of the round with Elizabeth, so we're going to stop there. Cue is someone's running the shower in the other room, and it's too loud to continue, I think. I don't know, maybe it's not too loud. If you don't like it, we're going to stop here anyway. It's a good time. We'll start off with Elizabeth's turn next turn. So thank you for joining me. Thanks for subscribing, and I hope you enjoy another session, another series of Cthulhu Death May Die, where we're playing the second scenario in the base game box. Thanks. I'll talk to you in the next episode. Take care. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Really appreciate it. It's doing well for the channel. We're getting quite a few bumps and subscriptions lately, and I appreciate that. So Happy New Year, guys. 2020 is on the way. We're well starting into January 2020, and let's have some fun with this. So see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.